By Nihalf, we found it. This is amazing.
I agree.
Now where can we find clues about the Bloodburn? Isgrim?
Huh? Did you say something?
I said, where should we start searching for clues? We need to find out more about the song.
The song. Yes, of course. Do you think we could rest for a moment first, though? I'd like to take some sketches of this place.
Well, how about we go back to Everlight to get some charcoal first? It's not as if we're in a hurry.
You're mean.
All right. I guess you have a point. The only problem is, deciphering the Shaper tongue isn't an easy task. We can't just walk in here and expect to find the answers we're looking for.
Then what do you suggest?
I assume the Nexus would be the best place to start. The heart of the city.
The Nexus?
Long story. In short, it's every Shaper city's core. It's where they drew the energy for their constructions from, where they created their devices, and where they stored their knowledge.
All right then, let's go. What do we need?
Let's see.
Do you see that?
Fascinating.
I'm sorry, but we don't understand.
Quaslan. Zaladar?
Punara Yuganza. Zawayetu Juanlar. Zanju Nomyan Kesnai. Zanladar?
You speak their tongue?
A bit. I've never used it in an actual conversation, though. I still can't believe this is happening. We're talking to a living Shaper.
So you think this is actually the spirit of a Shaper?
It's not a spirit, Tahar. This man, he's neither dead, nor undead, nor alive. It's almost something like an ethereal puppet string is keeping his life force in place. Not enough for him to die, yet not enough for him to be truly alive.
That's fascinating.
Well, not what I'd call it, but yeah, I guess.
So, what did he say?
I don't think he was talking to us. He's not even entirely aware of our presence. I think he's gone completely insane.
Interesting.
Well, he doesn't seem a threat. I suggest we keep on exploring first and maybe come back to him later. There's not much we can do for him now.
Feels strange to do that, but I guess you're right. We need to find that Nexus first. Lead the way, Tahar. Sounds like a plan.
Another ghost. Undead. Lots of them. How did they get here?
They could be shapers, couldn't they?
More of them. This place is a bloody graveyard.
Just give the word. Fair enough. Let's
dead.
do this. You got it. So, what's the plan? Huh. Interesting.
That's the way?
They will fall. Take them down.
Is this really necessary?
Now would you look at that?
This way, right?
Sounds like a plan.
There, another ghost.
Ah, yeah. Do you see that overgrown building? That's the Nexus. Nehal's hammer. It looks just like on the stone carvings.
Seems to be protected by some kind of barrier, though. How do we get past?
Excellent question. I doubt we can banish that barrier by force. Maybe... yeah. The ghost. He might know something.
Worth a try, I suppose. Let's head back.
Sure.
Get ready!
I'm dead.
You asked for this.
Don't move!
Sure. All right, here goes nothing.
All right, why not?
Will do. More of them. This place is a bloody graveyard.
We should get moving.
Understood. Got it.
That way?
Yes?
Yes?
Yes? Let's see.
Punara Yuganza. Zawa yetu kwanlar. Zanzuvu mijar. Zanladar. Zanzuvu mijar.
Well then, Iskrim, can you ask him about the barrier?
Yes. Vorzan Devlar. Zawa Yetu Van Yaras?
Quoi?
Van Drax. Verzan Devlar.
Punara Yuganza. Zawa yetu kanlar. Zanzvu namyan kesnai. Devlar.
Oh, I see.
So?
It's complicated, but I think I understand now. He's part of a defense mechanism, so to speak. His soul is bound to the city in order to protect it. I think he wants to be freed.
Does he know how the Shapers died? That's one of the greatest mysteries on Io.
I asked him that, but he didn't react. I think he knows, but his mind isn't able to process my question. It's sad. There's the source of Shaper knowledge, yet we cannot access it anymore.
Source of knowledge. That's a person you're talking to. Or was one. You'd know that, right?
I do. Doesn't make his existence less phenomenal.
If he's here to protect, why didn't he attack us?
Good question. Maybe the magic that controls him got weaker with the centuries.
And if we free him, will that banish the barrier?
Well, the problem is he's not alone. There are still 3 more of his kind here in Mullandir, and unless we free them all, it won't get us any closer to the Nexus.
Then we need to find them all. How do we free them?
Well, that's the thing. I might have misunderstood, but I think we need to fight and, well, kill him. It's the only way. Blazes, this is so ironic. Here we are, the first sentient beings to walk this city in millennia, and now...
Well, if we want to enter the Nexus, I doubt we have a choice. Also, they don't exactly seem too happy here. I know I wouldn't if I'd been roaming a deserted city as living dead for millennia.
I know. It's what they want.
I'm sorry.
Zalam Kar!
What a waste.
Let's see what he has on him.
A shard. Wait. Tahar, that rune Lacane gave you, could you show it to me?
Sure.
Fascinating. They look alike.
How is that possible?
Good question. I suggest we take a closer look at it later in the Nexus. Now come. I'd like to get this pointless butchering over with as soon as possible.
Here we go.
All right. Is this really necessary?
Sure.
What the? Something revived me.
The Godstone. Imprint our rune on the Godstone. That might sever the connection.
You'll regret this.
Let's see.
I'll take a look.
Would you look at that? It worked.
I was half expecting the city to blow up in our faces.
Now, wait. Do you hear that?
Niehaus hammer.
they will fall.
Tiara's breath. What in the blazes was that?
A steel guardian, it must have been. They are one of the many creatures the Shapers created to keep their cities safe.
Yeah, a giant walking armor with a bloody spiked club sure helped to ease their citizens' minds.
Well, it's dead now, and the path is clear. Let's find out what's behind that door.
Huh. Intriguing.
Nexus or not, there's definitely an impressive energy radiating from behind that door. Kind of unsettling, to be honest. So, Tahar, do you want to go in?
Let us explore some more first.
What? But...
We need to make sure we've got our backs.
all right.
Will do.
You got it. Uh-huh. Sounds like a plan.
The stone doors fall shut behind you as you step through the overgrown arch, and you are met by an almost eerie silence. Yet you immediately feel a presence, a power long forgotten, waiting for someone or something to wake it from its slumber. The Nexus must be nearby.
Incredible. So, this is the Nexus?
The upper levels. We'll need to go further down to find the heart. Come.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Don't let down your guard.
Don't.
Understood.
That way? Here we go.
Breath. We're in for a fight.
Something you need?
So, what's the plan? Sure. You got it. Sounds like a plan. Sure.
Will do.
Danger up ahead!
That thing is huge.
Is this really necessary?
That's the way?
Got it.
To this day, the Shaper's magical and technological prowess remains unrivaled. One thing is clear. None of their marvels would have been possible without an incredible amount of magical energy. According to Iskren, this is it. The heart of the Nexus. The source of the Shaper's power.
Well, blow me down with a feather. And here I thought this couldn't get any more impressive.
Then I'm guessing we got lucky? This is the Nexus?
Yes. We've found Mulandir's heart. So, as I said already to Har, if we're to find out anything about the Bloodburn in this city, it'll be here. Do you see that massive pillar in the center? That's where the Shapers drew their energy from. They used it to communicate, to store knowledge, to power the mechanisms in their city, and to build some of their most magnificent creations.
So this is also some kind of archive?
Well, not in the traditional sense. I doubt you'll find a lot of books here.
Huh. And where exactly does that energy they channel in here come from? What is it?
Well, that's one of the great Shaper mysteries. There's many theories and few facts. But the most likely one is that it draws from some kind of world essence, the same we mages use to cast magic.
If something like that exists, why have I never heard about it before?
As I said, it's just one of many theories. I might be completely mistaken.
What did they create? Just creatures?
Well, obviously just a few very select items, such as, I suppose, the runes we found. Only the most skilled of their craftsmen were allowed to work on that altar you see over there. Being Zaklar, a runesmith, was one of the most respected positions in Shaper society, and only those of the priest caste were even considered. I'm guessing that whatever miracle allowed them to create these ghost watchers outside was also manufactured here.
Did you just say they used this place to communicate?
Yes. Apparently, some Shapers were able to communicate with each other by thought alone.
I've heard about that. But what does this Nexus have to do with it?
Well, their telepathy wasn't an innate skill. It was something the higher castes learned through somehow joining their minds to that pillar. They were connected.
And you're sure that wasn't just a rumor? A lot of the scholars idealize the Shapers.
That might be true, but their telepathy is mentioned in many of the stone tablets, not just from the Shapers themselves, but also from the few races who dared to defy them. They almost described them as demigods.
Well, that does sound useful.
And a little bit scary.
Nihav's hammer. Do you feel that?
Energy. Seems there's still some left.
Yeah. And what's that? Looks like some kind of anvil?
Could that be where the Shapers forged their creations?
Very likely so, yes. Wait. How about a little experiment? That strange rune Lacane gave you. Could I, borrow it for a moment?
What for?
As I said, a little experiment. These shards we found on the ghosts outside. I think I might be able to combine them with our rune.
I don't think that's a good idea. We have no idea what we're messing with.
Corporal, please, just trust me. I've worked with Shaper artifacts before, and I know what I'm doing.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, that's interesting.
What?
The runes. They look alike.
So, Lacane gave us a Shaper rune?
Might be, yeah.
He seemed to think it was a gift from Aeonir.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I personally don't believe in Aeonir handing out gifts to his followers, but as you can tell by the Godstones all over the city, he played a role in the Shaper's faith too. So, technically, it could be both a Shaper rune and a gift from the Allfather.
And you're still sure you want to do this?
I am. It may take a while, so I suggest you take a look around in the meantime.
What's that?
Looks like a map of Fiara. A very old one.
Can that help us somehow?
I think so, yes. You see those markings? Glyphs. They look like someone carved them into the stone.
Can you make out what they say?
I've been trying, but
Yes. Yes, that's it. Over here, quickly!
Isgrim?
Ah, there you are. I was right. It worked. Look.
I don't see anything.
Just take a look. Here, Tahar.
What the heck just happened? What did you do?
I don't know. The rune. It must have reacted to you somehow, Tahar.
Yes, but why? What did you do to it?
I joined it with the shards we found on the Ghost Watchers. I'm guessing that caused some kind of magical reaction when you, as the rune owner, touched it.
So we're bound to the city now.
No, of course not. But I think the rune got stronger. Still, I'll have to do more research on this. I can't help but feeling that these runes are an ocean and we've merely touched the surface.
Let's just hope there isn't a monster on the bottom.
Anyway, what now? We still haven't learned anything new about the Bloodburn or the song.
That's right, we haven't. But while I was working on the rune, a thought occurred to me. Remember how I told you that some of the higher caste shapers were able to communicate by thought alone, by telepathy? Frankly, I believe that's exactly what the song is. Telepathy.
You mean we're hearing the thoughts of a shaper?
The shapers are extinct, so no, but it might be someone else using shaper magic or sort of mental echo. The memories of the dead.
I'm not sure what you mean by a mental echo.
Well, the shapers left all kinds of traces, didn't they? And those specters we fought on the surface are proof that their magic is still prevalent. Also, we know they use telepathy to communicate, so who knows? Maybe this song is just a lost, forgotten thought that somehow made it through the millennia.
That's almost poetic.
The song is telepathy. You mean, what we are hearing?
Isn't an actual sound, but a thought translated by your mind, yes. That explains why not everybody hears it, doesn't it?
Why do we then?
Probably because of our magical gifts. It makes sense, doesn't it?
So, somebody is talking in our heads. That's bizarre. Be that as it may, how does that get us any closer to finding a cure for the Bloodburn?
Because it tells us what has to be done next. Reactivate the Nexus.
Why?
Because it might allow us to do the same thing that the Shapers did. Join our minds to that pillar. We could connect to the collective subconscious of an extinct race, which then again could help us understand the song and its origin.
That sounds intriguing. How do we reactivate it, though?
Good question. But I believe those two pedestals have something to do with it. I'm pretty sure they're what used to be conjuring the energy of this place.
And they're empty. So we need to find whatever was in there, don't we? A power source.
Yeah. The only question is how.
I think I have an idea. Let's get back to that map. I think Isgrim should take a look at it.
Let's see.
Here we go. What do you make of this, Isgrim?
A map of Old Fiara. By Nehalf, this is incredible.
Yes, but I was talking about those markings. They look as though they were added manually, don't they? I've started translating them already, but I'm stuck. Can you take a shot?
Let me see. Saganar Zavuladun. Stones of... Wait. You're right. The stones of the essence and their location.
Stones of the Essence? So they are the power sources we're looking for.
They must be, yes.
But why would someone hide the stones and then mark their location?
Who says someone hid them? Maybe they were just brought somewhere else. It's common knowledge that the last years of the Shapers were chaotic, and they might have had a good reason to abandon this Nexus.
Then maybe it's not a good idea to bring them back, don't you think?
Well, the thing is, without the stones, we're stuck. We need this place up and running to understand the song. Even if my theory about it being telepathy is wrong, without power, we can't access the archive neither.
Then we need to find them.
Absolutely. And I suggest we start right away.
Hold your horses, we're not getting these stones anytime soon.
Why?
Because if that map is anywhere near accurate, one of those stones is located in what's now Aeonir's Blade. No point going in there without an army.
The Iron Falcons. Right.
Iron Falcons?
You don't know. The Iron Falcons are an order that is protecting the tomb of Foil Darg. They're fighting the world's end, so to speak. What about the other marking, Iria? Maybe...
Hold on. The Foil Darg? The ancient evil?
Yeah, them. According to the lore, the Guardians locked them in this tomb. But the seal has gotten weaker as time went by, so for over 800 years, the Iron Falcons have been protecting it. I'm surprised you know so little of your own country's lore, Tahar.
Well, my father was never interested in old myths.
The Fieldar aren't a myth, not at all. If it weren't for the Falcons, Fiara would be history by now. That's not to say they're a likable bunch. Word has it that they're fanatically religious, self-righteous pricks. But I guess living in the desert with only skeletons to keep you company does that to you.
What about the other marking?
That one's even worse. This land where the marking points to doesn't even exist anymore. It's right in the Black Sea.
Damn it, you're right. But, that doesn't necessarily mean that this island doesn't exist anymore, does it? Maybe the cartographers of our era simply haven't discovered it yet. We could build a ship, right? Sail there and find out.
Yeah, maybe. But again, for that we need support. Someone who can provide us with influence, money, and at least some troops against whatever we'll face there. Not to mention the fact, Tahar, that your former general has probably already sent his dogs on us.
Ideas?
What about that village mayor, Clara Farland? Didn't she tell us something about certain friends she has?
True. And there was a shapeshifter.
Yeah, though I still don't think this is a good idea. How about the Morhair Elves? You told me they're investigating the Bloodburn too, didn't you?
We fought them in Leonon. I doubt they'll be eager to cooperate.
They know they made a mistake. That scryer, she snapped, and given General Noria's intentions, she wasn't even that wrong to do so. I'm pretty sure they'll listen to what we have to say, especially if they're struggling with the Bloodburn themselves.
All right, it might be worth a try. Interesting.
So, this is it, isn't it? Our base of operations?
So it seems.
An ancient Shaper city on a quest to find a cure for the Bloodburn. And we're working for the purity of light. Sounds crazy if you say it like that. Just some weeks ago, I thought I'd be in Greyfell now, trying to make a fresh start as an innkeep.
Innkeep? You?
Hey, don't laugh. What's wrong with some honest work after years of defiling on the road? Getting up early in the morning, setting the tables, serving mulled wine and stew to tired, weary souls. Just a simple, honest life.
So, you'd leave it all behind? The adventuring?
You know. People always act as if these decisions are final. The only way to find out how much I'd like that kind of life is by taking a chance, isn't it? And if one day I wake up and find myself in need of a change, I can still pack up my things and hit the road again. Upsides of Elven blood. There's plenty of time.
Innkeeping is fun, until you find yourself on your knees at dawn, clearing up the puddles of vomit and beer these tired, weary souls left behind when they were done carousing.
Quite the cynic, aren't you?
For what it's worth, I enjoy your company.
Sure you do. Who else would patch you up after the next monumental battle? Anyway, talk later, shall we? I'm sure you've got battles to prepare.
Huh?
Corporal? Need anything?
Could you tell me a bit more about your homeland? Finn and Mir?
Well, it's not my homeland anymore, but yeah, shoot.
What role does magic play among elves?
It's everywhere. Magic is considered a gift of Ellen, and it defines your standing in every possible way. We may have talked about that already, but the whole council who runs the country is made up of mages, which is why the Purity will have a hard time finding followers in Finn and Mir, should they ever be naive enough to try.
I doubt that will ever happen. How is human culture different from elven culture?
I assume you mean Nortander from Finn and Mir? There isn't one elven culture, as little as there's just the humans. Generally spoken, though, I wouldn't say they're too different. Especially not compared to the orcs. Life is a lot slower, mainly due to our lifespan, and elves are even more defined by tradition than humans. They revere nature and value tradition and rules above all else, and they are extremely aware of what they say, how they say it, and to whom. Which also makes it very easy to offend an elf. I'm an exception in that regard, but that was something my vagrant years taught me. But then again, not all elves are like that. There are some who care as little about Ellen the White Tree and the traditions as a troll cares about his morning toilet.
Elves have a very long lifespan. What's it like to live for so long?
Hard to say, since I don't know what a human body feels like. As an elf, you simply take it for granted. When I first realized how short a human life is during my travels, I was baffled. I've been on this world for 39 years now, and in the elven world, I'm hardly considered an adult. Here, I'd have delivered my 7th child by now. It's strange. That's the best way to describe it. But you know what I eventually came to realize?
Tell me.
That age doesn't necessarily make you wiser. I've talked to 30-year-old humans who understood more of the world than the ancient seers of Finn and Mir. It's all about experiences.
Interesting. There was something else I wanted to ask.
Sure. What?
This might sound odd, but why did you join me? It was me the Harbinger wanted.
Why are you asking? If you want me to leave, you can just say it. No hard feelings.
No, I just want to understand. You've been putting yourself in a lot of danger for our cause.
I guess so. Well, I hate to disappoint, but I don't think there's a particular reason. As you pointed out in the prison, I'm a fugitive as much as you are, and my best chance of survival was sticking with you.
Goodbye. Made yourself comfortable?
Comfortable? Believe me, being comfortable is the last thing on my mind right now. Just look at this place. A Shaper city. Don't you feel it too? This sense of divinity?
You seem to be quite excited to be here.
Why, of course I am. Tahar, I'm not sure if you understand how much this means to me. The forgotten city of Mullandir, the heritage of the Shapers. Since my childhood days, I've dreamed of this. I suppose what I'm trying to say is, thank you. You and the Harbinger have made this dream come true.
Well, all we did was save you from the orcs. You were the one who found the entrance.
You make it sound as if saving me from those greenskins was an easy feat. It wasn't. Anything else I can help you with? If not, I'd like to take another look at that rune LeCain gave us. It's at least as amazing as this place. Tahar, may I help you with something?
What are your thoughts on the Harbinger, Rondar LeCain?
Well, he's my employer. Without him, I wouldn't be on this mission. Or, what do you mean?
I was trying to say, how do you feel about what he stands for? The purity of light. Aeonir's return.
Oh, that. I'm not certain I have an opinion on these matters.
Don't you care who you're working for?
Truth be told, not that much. Making a living as an archaeologist is hard enough as it is. I can't afford to be picky. And in all honesty, aren't Lacane and his fellows just more of the same? There have always been cults who weren't happy with the Guardians and believed they had found the true and only God. There was even that one who believed in a sort of schizophrenic God, who was both the trinity of three different beings and the singular omnipotent God at the same time. However that's supposed to work. Sounds funny when you think about it, but those lads were dead serious.
Does the Harbinger know you feel that way?
No, I guess not, but he doesn't need to know about that, does he?
So, you don't believe in Aeonir's return? In the new world?
No, I don't.
But there's truth to what the Purity claims. The Guardians have been unusually silent.
Yeah, because maybe they finally realized how silly and ungrateful most of their creations are and decided not to bother anymore. What I'm trying to say is, there could be all kinds of reasons why they've withdrawn. And I doubt a bonkers robe-wearing lad such as Lacane knows the answer.
So you think the Purity is harmless?
Of course they are. And like any other fanatic, he and his fellows will go down once people realize his god doesn't have all the answers.
Maybe you're right.
I certainly hope so.
There's something I've been wondering about. How did your cooperation with the Harbinger begin?
Well, that was simple. I was in Everlight at the time, on request of a nobleman. He'd hired me to do some work on an artifact collection of his. One night, a courier contacted me and gave me a letter. The message outlined the mission and the pay, even though the latter was almost irrelevant to me once I realized what it was that Lacane wanted me to find.
Mullandir.
Yeah, you know the rest of the story.
How does one make a living as an archaeologist?
Good question. One I usually prefer not to think or talk about. To be honest, it's a tough life. For some obscure reason, only very few scholars take interest in the Shaper or the Hibernian culture, even though there is so much to be found. It's a shame.
Like what? What is there to be found?
What? You mean apart from monumental steel constructs, ghost warriors, and a city full of ancient secrets to be discovered? A lot. But that's another topic.
How do you explain that lack of interest?
Well, what do you think? Ignorance. No matter if it's orcs, elves, dwarves, or humans. We're all terribly bad at learning from the past. Blasted, there's so much to be found, so much to be explored. Not just riches, but the technology, wisdom, and ancient secrets. But no, for some reason, the people with the coin just don't care. The only ones who even try to access this treasure are incompetent amateur treasure hunters, who usually get their heads chopped off by the first defense mechanism they walk into.
True. It's a pity.
Well, I suppose that answers your question. The life of an archaeologist is hard, and there have been times where I questioned if all the sacrifices I've made were worth it. Yet, here I am now.
I've been meaning to ask you, how does a dwarf end up so far from the Windwall Mountains?
Let's not talk about this now, shall we? Maybe later.
All right, sure. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No sweat, Tahar. It's fine.
Found out anything new about the rune?
Well, so far all I can say is that what Lacane has given you is indeed a Shaper artifact, as we suspected. Now, I would write all this purity talk of the rune being a gift of Aeonir off as religious nonsense if it weren't for the fact that the rune's energy actually interacts with the Godstones, shrines of Aeonir.
Which means that the Shapers and Aeonir are somehow connected.
Somehow, yes. And I'll find out how.
Goodbye.
Let me see.
Yeah, do you need something? I'm a tad busy.
Goodbye.
Corporal? Need anything?
Goodbye.
blasted armor.
This way, right?